rise of single men. We actually have data from this year that shows young women are way less interested in dating than young men are. And we have data to show that more women than men are single because they simply cannot find someone they are interested in dating. 38% of single American women say the main reason they're not dating is they can't find someone that meets their expectations, compared to only 23% of men say the same thing. College educated women are the group most likely to say they are single because they can't find someone that meets their expectation, 45%. And I can hear the men in my comments now saying, see, it's women's fault. They have too high of expectation, and that's why everyone is single and lonely. But let me remind you that women have always entered into marriages with the expectation that it is going to materially improve their lives.
Yep, we got one of those. Let me get my balls off. Just let me get my balls off.
We needed husbands for financial security. We needed them for bank accounts, for credit cards, to have a house to live in. And now women are doing better than men. We are more educated. We are stable on our own. And women who are independent and self-sustaining do not need to get married. When you don't financially need a husband or a partner, you can say, I'm not get a partner until I find one that's emotionally supportive, emotionally intelligent, doesn't need me to be his therapist and his mom, doesn't need me to do all the childcare, all the housework. And men will tell you, they do in my comments every single day, that these expectations are just simply too much. I fear for escalating retaliation that this will cause interpersonally between men and women, and also in legislative and policy decisions, like the push to get rid of no-fault divorce, in the rolling back of reproductive rights, and with things like student debt and college affordability. They're not going to make college more affordable when more women going to college results in higher expectations of the men that want to date us. So yeah, that's why I worry about retaliation of men who cannot make it worth it for women to want to date and marry. A world where more and more men are single because women do not want to date.
So, shout out to Ali Rooker for this clip. Hopefully, someone doesn't have their panties in a bunch and gets overly emotional about what I'm about to say. But I want to address a couple of points in this video. First of all, um, men and women over the last 20, 30 years have been waging war over credentials, preferences, feminism, patriarchy, matriarchy, what makes a home, who's supposed to be a leader, who's supposed to be at home, who's supposed to do X, Y, and Z. I'm so over hearing these arguments and these talking points over and over and over again. Hopefully, by the time we're done and you've watched this, I want you to really examine and listen to what she said, because she spoke on a few things that I thought was important to actually attack, not so necessarily in a way that is to just crap on her stance, but to really highlight some things that I really just didn't I disagreed with and I agreed with. For one, no fault divorce. Why are we at the point in 2024 where this is something that is being petitioned for? And before you say because men are trying to escape or avoid accountability for their actions in the dissolved journey between him and spouse, I want you to put your listening ears on for a second. A lot of these men have worked their entire lives slaving for people, breaking bones, losing limbs, shaving years off of their entire life, all for what? A simplistic life where they can reap the benefits of their labors, to have someone that loves them and vice versa, and to create a family and to care and take care of them. Most men give their entire beings for that. And a lot of women, as I've noticed today, they only care about making sure that they never have a financial drought again in their life. So you want to live comfortable. You want to be able to splurge and spend without having to worry about a roof going over your head, but also at the same time, you want the ability to come and go in and out of your relationship as you please, because quite frankly, things aren't going the way they were going when you met the person at the beginning of the relationship. Now all of a sudden you're not happy. Things have changed. You got this itch. You want to live out the remainder of your years seeing if you can still pull young guys, or maybe you still have this inkling to chase after a certain rush or a certain high out of different men because the relationship has gotten bland and the marriage has gotten bland. How many TV shows have we gotten over the last few years where the woman steps out of the relationship or out of the marriage because he's not taking her out as much. He's not complimenting her as much. He's constantly working and working, and she wants all of his time. But that was what attracted you to him in the first place, the fact that he was financially capable of making sure that you never went without. Now we have all these different things, and then the main character is introduced to a protagonist or someone outside of the relationship that is pretty much the opposite of your husband, and he offers you something that you haven't felt in a long time. That same feeling that you got from him at the beginning of the relationship, you're seeing it in a fresher face, and now you feel as if you're inclined or you deserve to feel that again because you're not getting it here. Instead of working on the relationship and the marriage, going to counseling and so on and so forth, you find excuses and ways to loophole your way out of taking accountability for stepping out. And then you blame the husband for everything that went wrong in the relationship. I can't stand videos like the one that I just watched because you don't never see these women get up here and tell their side of what took place in these relationships. It's always the guy's fault. So you had every reason to go ahead and step out and then go forth with proceeding with divorce. So you see a formula or a habit happen over and over and over and over again, repetitiously. What do you think is going to happen? Men aren't stupid. We see it. It's like, okay, well, I'm noticing a pattern with a lot of these women, man. What's it really going to benefit me to even go down this route? Well, of course. Another thing that I want to address too, the the increase of women in colleges. Get your education, my love. I love it. I love an intelligent woman. But just like with anything, especially with evolution, you want everything around you to evolve with you. Men, we grow and evolve in ways where it's going to benefit us and our loved ones. We're thinking about them. We're not just thinking about us. Women tend to think more about themselves, their needs and their wants and their desires. Empathy, and I say this time and time again, women don't have too much empathy for men anymore. I don't know if they even look at us like we are human. Some do, but there's a large majority that want to be us so badly that I just don't understand what's going on here. What is the competition about, right? So the more education you get, the smarter you get, the more money you make. The more money you make, the more requirements you have of anyone you decide to choose. You already want a guy that's super tall, super dark, has a certain jaw structure, uh, complexion, and so on and so forth. Now you got this money. Now you want someone that's making that or more. You're not settling, and a lot of these debates about men and women being lonely. Here's a kicker. Here's something that you need to know. Men can be by themselves. Men have ways of taking care of themselves. We can do everything that you can do as an adult with or without you and be okay. Men and women are supposed to balance each other out. This idea that one is supposed to be without the other is ridiculous. And y'all keep on painting these narratives and creating these arguments between the two genders with statistics and all of these little shots that you take on social media is ridiculous. We need to quit with that. So I don't know what you think you're accomplishing here with this particular story, young lady, or to the women who watch these back and assume that because it sounds smart and it sounds intelligent that is actually biblical truth. Try open up scripture. Try checking and double checking and triple checking your sources before you get on social media going into a rampage about how incels exist because of this and because of that and because we just don't do enough or step up enough to have or garner your attention or your affection. God got this whole thing about you that financial and economical worth is the end all be all to success. It is what is going to bring two people together and establish a household under a godly foundation. And it is not. Money is nothing but a piece of paper created and established to keep a tab on the poor, the impoverished, and create division and separatism between the genders. No one will ever be 1000% happy with money, no matter how many times you try to chop it up, cut it up, screw it up, mix it, mold it, twist and turn it. It's just not going to happen. So I don't really care what you say. Now let me go over here to some of these comments real quick. Um, I smell bitterness. Actually, the other way around. They always say single and lonely. Baby, I'm single and happy. And you being in my life could only make it worse. Laughing. See, this is what I'm talking about. It's just too many different opinions and thinking pieces on a subject that is deeper than your financial and your education. And no one is really looking at it that way. But I digress. Y'all let me know in the comments how you feel about this story. Do you agree with what she said? Do you disagree with what she said? Comment below. Let me know what you think about that. I would love to hear back from you.